So what happens when the largest game on the planet goes to war with one of the largest companies on the planet, and then a second company gets in on the act? A war of words? A promotional or propaganda video?
Ladies and gentlemen, hiss and foes, welcome to the Culture Casino!
We're a nation of laws, which is a good thing. Those laws are designed to make it an equal playing field for all. In fact, in 1890, the U.S. Congress, the 51st Congress of the United States, passed the Sherman Antitrust Law, and shortly thereafter passed the Clayton Antitrust Act of 1914. What do those things mean? Well, a trust is a large entity that seeks to eliminate competition or outside influence, otherwise known as a monopoly. Now, in this particular case, it could be argued that anything that is a restraint of trade that eliminates or creates barriers to interstate commerce or seeks to eliminate competition in the marketplace is considered a monopoly. And that's really what you need to think of when we're talking about antitrust. It's basically anti-monopolistic practices. So, enter into the fray Fortnite versus Apple and Google to some extent. What happened yesterday was a natural result of a company complaining about a form of restraint of trade. Fortnite, again, theoretically one of the largest games on the planet, with what they say over 1 billion devices influenced by the Apple Store, the Apple App Store, was blocked from the Apple App Store, meaning that you could no longer acquire the game from the Apple App Store, nor acquire assets through the Apple App Store, such as currency, etc., etc. Now, immediately after being blocked for trying to circumvent the 30% Apple tax, Fortnite was struck down, as I mentioned. Right after that, Fortnite launched not only a war of words with Apple, but it was prepared for Android as well. In-game and also on their website, they put forth a propaganda video. And immediately following, they filed a lawsuit, arguing again that Apple and also, and this to some extent, Google with their Android products is operating in a monopolistic way and restraining the market, limiting commerce, and creating a one-stop only shop that basically eliminates its competition. Of course, Epic, which is the company that owns Fortnite and runs that game, has their own store. And they do, to some extent, have some exclusive titles on that store, but for the most part seem to be agnostic, where you can actually acquire other games on other platforms such as Steam and others. Android has a better argument against this idea of being a monopoly, as they also have allowed for other third-party stores, including Samsung's application store. There are easier ways to get around the installation of apps on an Android phone than there are on an iPhone, since iPhones pretty much locks you into utilizing only the apps that are available from the App Store, unless you're a very savvy user. So yesterday, after all of this happened, Fortnite, Epic Games, launches their media campaign. And we start to see the stories come in. A couple of them from The Verge, which first covered the Apple incident, and then 3 hours later, or 2.5 hours later, covered what happened with Android. And shortly to follow was the story from the New York Times, which is far more in-depth and probably a better read. The first thing to note is that this isn't the first time that Epic and Apple have clashed. This is the second time. They have clashed over this particular issue both times. It is a very high stakes game for Apple at this point, because if they end up in a situation where they are deemed to be in this area a monopoly, all bets are off. Now, Apple's argument, of course, is that they are there to protect the end user, which would be you and me, of any of their products like their iPad, their iPhone, etc., even their iWatch. And that's a pretty good argument, except that it pretty much eliminates the opportunity for anyone else to compete or to offer applications directly to consumers. This seems to be a monopolistic practice. Of course, Apple's other argument is that it is a security and privacy concern that any other outside company is allowed to install software on the iPhone, because they don't know how it will behave. And of course, Android has that problem. Both phones and tablets and other products that use similar operating systems are susceptible to viruses and things like that. So ultimately, what do I think is going to happen? I think that because this clearly is a restraint of commerce, that there will be something to come of this. I think that the courts will be in a position where they will have to decide that Apple, and to some extent Google, is practicing a form of monopoly, at least when it comes to this particular type of service. I think that this will shake out to a place where other platforms will be able to get in the game. They will also be able to negotiate an even lower rate with whatever platform they end up with, which, this is going to be funny, but large tech companies have been able to do with Apple. Apple's normal 30% cut, as well as the Google Play Store's 30% cut, is negotiable if you're large enough. For example, with Amazon. Amazon was able to cut a much better deal with Apple and with Android, I think down to 15%. So if that's the case, why isn't an opportunity afforded to others to do the same? Or if it is, why isn't it utilized more often? Some interesting questions. But I see this as something that is a lose-lose for Apple in this situation, because they're going to lose the war of words. They already are on the wrong side of things when it comes to their tight control of various products. I also think Google is going to lose. In fact, Google has opened themselves up to many different types of antitrust lawsuits in the various platforms that they operate. I wonder if this is just one of the dominoes to fall when we are looking at the influence and the monopolies of these large tech firms, because ultimately the goal of any company is to eliminate competition, obviously, not encourage it. And in this country, it's just illegal. So we'll see. I mean, this is, again, their second swing at this. And of course, this is going to be far easier for them, the folks over at Epic, to prove. They are maintaining, according to Epic, a 100% monopoly over the market for in-app payments on iPhones. And that is the #1 item that's cited in the 62-page lawsuit that Epic filed. So we'll see. I have a feeling that the war of words will be won by Epic. I'm just hoping that the court battle is. Anyway, short video today, just a short breakdown of my understanding of what's going on with Fortnite, with Epic, with Apple, with Android, and what I see. Honestly, I see that this is an illegal practice. I think that it brings some unwelcome light to some business practices that both Apple and Google practice. And I think ultimately it'll be good for the consumer. So in this way, I'm rooting for Epic. Not that I particularly enjoy Fortnite, but that I believe that the more competition in the marketplace, the better. So tell me what you think. Do you think I'm off base, or do you think Epic's off base, or do you think Apple and Google are practicing illegal activities that are clearly banned under the Sherman and the Clayton Acts. I think it's pretty evident. Anyway, thanks for joining me today. I truly appreciate your time. Be certain to support other independent creators on the platform because they're all out there making incredible material for you on a daily basis, and they need your support. Consider checking out some great creators such as the Supreme Heretic, because Drew Taylor does a great job over at Bounding Into Comics. He also does an excellent live stream called the Pegasus Actual Podcast each and every Thursday evening, which is a wonderful way to revisit the Battlestar Galactica series that we enjoyed just a few years ago. Again, thanks for your time. As I always mention, be sure to take care of yourself, take care of others, wash your hands, and until next time, bye. Thanks for visiting today. Be sure you're subscribed and hit that for alerts.
Yay!
Of course, like and share all of the videos that you can, as it helps with the algorithm. Have a great day.